Morgan, and today in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to do a kind of classic smoky eye, good for prom or homecoming, which is right around the corner for most of you, and for some of you it already happened and I'm so sorry, but this is how to kind of get this classic kind of look with like pink lips and like smoky eyes and fake lashes. So if you're interested in seeing how to achieve this, then keep on watching. So the first step is using a primer, and this is the Professional by Benefit. What I'm going to be doing is focusing this a lot more on the areas where I do have larger pores and kind of working it away from there. So I'm going to start right about here next to my nose, because that is where my highly pored areas are. And then I'm going to bring it up into my forehead and get a little bit more for my chin. Smooth it all out around there. And now taking my MAC Studio Fix Fluid and this brush right here, I'm going to just be putting a little bit onto the back of my hand. And then I'm going to be taking some of the Hello Flawless Oxygen Wow by Benefit. I'm also going to be putting that on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to mix it around a little bit with my finger. And then I'm going to be using that for my face because I like both of them, but one is a little bit dark and one is a little bit light, so mixing them together makes it more of my perfect shade. So I'm just going to be lightly putting this on, not blending it in too much yet, and then I'm going to be working really fast with this because I do not want it to dry as it is now. And now taking a flat top kabuki, I'm just going to be blending this all in. And then blending it downwards. And just all over. And then as I see places that need a little bit more coverage, I'll take whatever is left on the back of my hand with this brush and then just kind of go around there. Now taking my Instant Age Rewind from Maybelline, I'm just going to be using this little sponge to kind of put it right under my eyes. And then I'm going back with the flat top kabuki and just blending it all in. I'm going to try and get around this area too, because I know for me personally I get a lot of redness right around here that I would like to conceal. And then just with a concealer brush and my MAC Studio Sculpt Concealer in NW25, I'm going to be just concealing a couple of my problem areas where I have like a little bit of blemishes or such. And then taking that brush I used to put on my foundation, I'm going to kind of try and blend those out first, and then it'll mix a little bit more with any foundation that's left on this brush. And now I'm going to be using my MAC Cream Color, and this is in Hush, and I'm just going to be putting this on my cheekbones. And the reason why I'm doing this before I go in with any powder is because it tends to look a little bit more natural if you put it on under powder instead of over, because the powder can kind of make your face look a little bit more cakey, and I'm just using this beforehand along with all of my other cream stuff that I've already done. So I'm just going to be putting this on the top of my cheekbone, and you can just feel for your cheekbone if you don't know where it is. It's the bone that kind of pokes out right about here. It's really easy to find with your finger, I guess. Like this is like your cheek hollow-ish area right here, and this is your cheekbone. So I'm just going to be putting that along my cheekbones. And this adds such a nice shimmery kind of glow to your cheekbones that makes them stand out a lot more, especially if you're like me and have kind of less prominent cheekbones. It really helps to kind of make them look like they're there. Now taking a lip balm, and this one is one of the EOS ones, and I borrowed it from my sister because I left mine at my friend's house. So I'm just going to be putting this on my lips. And the reason why I'm putting it on now is because at the end I'm going to be putting on lipstick, and I'd like my lips to be moisturized by then, but not so freshly moisturized and lip balmy that the color does not stick. Now I'm taking the Hello Flawless powder, which is in this How to Look the Best at Everything little kit from Benefit. I'm going to be using a large fluffy brush, and I'm just going to be lightly putting this all over my face. And you don't want to rely too heavily on powder because it is one of those things that can kind of make your makeup look a lot more powdery than, I mean, obviously liquid does. So I'm just going to go lightly, and then I'm just going to kind of take the brush and hold it by the very end, and then kind of just sweep off everything that doesn't need to be there. And then this is already setting my makeup with the stuff that's still there, but it's not leaving it too cakey and powdery. Now I'm taking the Hoola bronzer, which is also in another Benefit kit, and this little brush which came with it, and I'm just going to be hitting my cheekbones. So what I'm going to do is tuck in my cheeks like this, and then going along that area. And then I'm going to take that fluffy brush again and just blend. And now with the NARS Laguna bronzer, I'm going to go over that area a little bit and kind of blend it up and down with that color. I'm going to make sure I get underneath my jawbone and my temple. And I'm also going to contour along my chin a little bit to kind of give it that more prominent chin like thing, and bring it down along here to make my neck look a little bit skinnier. And then on my nose, and the way I contour my nose, I really just don't contour it, I just kind of put bronzer on it to make it disappear more, if you could say that. Now with this itty bitty brush, I'm going to be taking the blush, which is in Deep Throat, and I'm going to be putting that on top of my cheekbones very lightly. And this is going to hit the cream color that we put on as well, and it'll kind of complement that. And then I'm just going to blend a little bit more along that line. And now I'm going to be moving on to eyes. Okay, so now taking the Urban Decay Primer Potion, I'm going to be putting this up to my brows, and I'm going to make sure I get my brows with this because then they will stay on all night, because brows are kind of important too. So if you see any glitter all over my face, it's not purposely there. I went to a football game last night and we all got covered in glitter because we had school spirit. Woo! So just putting this on all over. So now with this Clinique Instant Lift for brows, I'm going to be taking the kind of brow colored side, and I'm just going to be filling in my brows. And now I'm just brushing them out a little bit because they do have a little bit of primer in the hairs. So I'm just brushing that out. So I'm taking a small angled brush in my Benefit Brow Zing, and I'm going to be using the gel side a little bit to make sure that they stay in place tonight. So with this brush, just gonna lightly go over them. Now I'm just going to brush them out again. Now I'm taking my Soft Ochre Paint Pot from MAC, and I'm just going to be putting this onto my lids, and I'm going to be using my ring finger. Just going to be lightly putting this on. I'm going to be focusing it more into the inner corner and the lid and not trying to go up too high. Now taking a fluffy brush in the color taupe from the Lorac Pro palette, I'm going to be going into my crease and a little bit onto my brow bone. Now with a small eyeshadow brush, I'm taking the color Smog from this Urban Decay palette, which I have no idea what it's called, but I'm going to be putting this onto the outer half of my eyelid. I'm not going to hit, if you look straight forward where your eye kind of, like your eye, the color part of your eye starts, I'm going to try and not go any farther than that. And then I'm going to blend that out with this brush. Now taking the color Precious from Bare Minerals, I'm going to be putting this onto my whole lid. Since this is a loose color, I'm going to be pressing it onto my lid instead of sweeping it over because then there's less fallout. And this does not have to look perfect as you do this because now we are going to blend. Now with this small crease brush, I'm going to be taking the color I Do, which is from the Romantic Eye palette from Too Faced, and I'm going to be focusing this on my outer V. Now I'm going to be taking the color Unveil, and I'm going to be using a fluffier brush like the one that I blended with. Actually, this is the one that I blended with, and I'm going to be using this for my outer V area. And you want to make sure you don't have a ton of product on the brush, so just kind of tap the excess off and then start out very light and work your way darker. Now with the Lorac Pro palette, I'm going to be taking the color Black along with the same brush, and I'm going to deepen up this color a little bit on the outside. And again, I'm going to tap off any excess. Now with a pencil eyeliner, this one is from Urban Decay, I'm going to be lining my upper waterline. And then I'm going to be following up with liquid, and you can use gel, pen, liquid, any type you like. I just prefer to use liquid. The one I'm using is from e.l.f. and I'm really bad at doing this on camera, so I'm going to just go off camera for a second, so I'll see you in a bit. Now that I've done my liner, I did not wing it because I did not really feel the need to, because now I'm going to be taking some false lashes, and these are from Revlon. And now I'm just going to blend my fake lashes with my real ones, and I'm going to be using the Revlon Lash Potion. I'm just going to go over these slightly, hoping I don't always and ta-da! Now with pencil liner, I'm just going to fill in any gaps. And then I'm going to be using just a little bit of mascara, and this is the Revlon Lash Potion, and I'm just going to be putting this onto my bottom lashes. So now with my favorite nude lipstick, which is Kinda Sexy from MAC, I'm going to be putting this onto my lips. And now I'm going to go over that with a gloss, and this one is from Chanel. It's number 148. I'm just going to be patting this on top. So this is the finished look with the eyes and lips, and I hope you all have fun at either your prom or homecoming or formal event, and I love you all, and I will see you guys on Tuesday in my next video, which is when I'll be getting back into that regular Tuesday, Thursday schedule. So until then, goodbye. Like when this falls down on your lid like I have. Oh my god, I'm so bad at talking. Okay.